he could move up 2 positions and get inside the top 10 and pick up some valuable points. Now, there is Desiree Wilson. Desiree is in 7th position. Just updating you again on Neifel. And Desiree misses the apex of that corner, slides out toward the tire wall, and just barely saved it.
Maybe a situation where she hasn't been in a car for a while. She could be getting a little tired out there.
Well, certainly the conditions that this race started with were very demanding. There is Lynn St. James. Lynn is now in a comfortable 6th position. Desiree is no longer a threat to her. It was very warm when we started the race. It's cooled off a lot, but you have to work hard on the street course if the temperature is 93 or 33, don't you? You
certainly do, and they aren't forgiving at all, too. I mean, you have to keep your concentration. You have to be on all the time, or they'll cut you out a little bit, just like they saw a little bit earlier with Desiree.
Well, interestingly enough, as we go back up front and look at the progress of Dorsey Schroeder and the leader right there in the center of your screen, Tom Kendall, as they are approaching Jim Durhog. It's now down to 1.7 seconds with 4 laps to go, and there is a lot of lap traffic between Tom Kendall and that checkered flag.
I'm going to predict that Tom Kendall has this race in hand. I think that he's playing his speed off of Dorsey. I think that because of getting 50 pounds put on last race, I think that he only wants to win, you know, maybe by a second or so. He doesn't want to pull it out too far. He doesn't want to get more weight.
That's probably a pretty good bet. Yeah. What a dilemma, though, for SCCA. You know, they want to make Trans Am racing as competitive as they possibly can, and they've added now a total of 100 pounds onto these V6 Chevys, and still they sat in the front row today, and it looks like they're going to win race number 6 in a row.
It certainly does.
And Scott, I will say one other thing also. I know that many of the people in the Chevy Beretta camp were very unhappy about what happened, but I am convinced that SCCA is trying to work in the best interest of the entire division. It is more than just a division, of course, the Chevrolet Berettas, and they need to be as fair as they possibly can to every team, but that means all the teams from 1st to 32nd.
It's in a situation where they're putting on a show, they're putting on a race, but it's also a show at the same time. They want to get out there and do the best they can to make everybody want to come back, to feel the fields, to make a lot of the drivers feel like at least they have a chance to go out and compete and to run.
We will be back with the finish of today's Trans Am race to the downtown streets of Denver, Colorado after this. Stay with us.
SCCA. We make racing happen. To get involved, call for membership information. Toll free, 1-800-255-5550.
Free in Denver, Scott.
I think we've got a couple lights coming on out there.
Yeah, the street lights have begun to come on. You can see the glows on the hoods of the Trans Am cars as they go through certain sections of the race course. Tom Kendall working on lap number 48. He'll have 2 to go when this one is down. There is Dorsey Schroeder, and knowing how competitive that Dorsey is, he's probably just beside himself, thinking that he wants to catch Tom Kendall, but knowing in his heart probably the same thing that you feel, that Tom's in control.
Nice shot of Chris Neifel there, working his way back up, currently in 11th position.
Neifel is in 11th position and closing in on Wayne Akers, Irv Hare, and George Robinson in the blue and white bright orange number 74. Robinson is having one of his best races, and Robinson, you can see him on the screen now. Here comes Neifel moving in on George Robinson. George came over to Trans Am Racing from IMSA Racing. Neifel is currently in 9th position, and if he can get around Robinson, he'll move up to 8th. There goes Jack Baldwin. There's Robert Lapalainen. Those are the 4th and 5th cars, and there has been a change of position there. Baldwin has moved around Robert Lapalainen.
Baldwin and that Skull Bandit. He's a heck of a charger. We spent a lot of time battling out there on the racetrack.
Let's go to the pits.
Here we are in the pits of Roush Mustang driver Robert Lapalainen. Lapalainen, it looks like he has to get a little fuel. He was running in 4th place. They're trying to get him started. He stalled the motor. Robert Lapalainen, he might lose a spot here. Desiree Wilson's coming by. Looks like he's going to lose a spot. They can't seem to get it started, and Lapalainen's gone.
The reason why he came into the pits, the radios say he was low on fuel, and that is something, it's lap number 48 coming up, that a lot of the crew said just might happen if they didn't get just the right fuel-air mixture in this higher altitude.
You want to run the cars as light as you can by putting in just enough fuel, but it was a pretty big question mark coming into this race. They hadn't been up to this altitude before, and it looks like they were just kind of caught out on that one.
There is Bob Sobey moving to the inside of a continually slowing Irv Hare, and another driver who is having a big disappointment today in points. He felt that he would be a threat for the points championship, but today has not been his day, as have been so many in 1990. Scott, you know, I will give one thing to Tom Kendall. He felt that the team was so organized even before the year began that as they got into this streak right now that we are in, 3 races in a row with a couple of cross-country trips, that his team would be strong in this period. He felt that these 3 races on various sides of the continent would really take the toll on a number of the other teams, and he was right.
It's really a cohesiveness that comes together with the team members. You know, it really gets working. We saw Emerson Fittipaldi last year virtually unbeatable, and this year he's changed teams and they're still trying to get up to speed.
Chris Neifel has moved up to 7th position. He was able to get around George Robinson. He also passed Desiree Wilson, and Chris has really given this car a pretty good ride. There's Jerry Brasfield, who spun out on course. That appears to be about turn number 13 with the courthouse in the background. Here we are back with Chris Neifel, who now is challenging Robert Lapalainen. There is the leader, meanwhile. That, of course, is Tom Kendall. He has completed lap number 49 and is now on his last circuit of the 1.9 miles through the streets of downtown Denver, Colorado. It looks like Tom Kendall is going to win for the 4th time in the last 5 races. Dorsey Schroeder still runs a comfortable 2nd position. Max Jones is 3rd. Lynn St. James now finds herself running a very competitive 4th position, and in 5th is Jack Baldwin. Keeping our eyes on the leader, there is Schroeder with perhaps one of his last looks. That is down at turn number 8 of 16 there that you just saw Tommy really flash under. Now, there is the number 19 car of Steve Saleen directly ahead. It is possible he will catch Saleen before the checkered flag. They turn and head east for the last time. They are now headed toward that Civic Center Mall. You'll see soon that Tom will be in a series of S's. There's Civic Center right in the background. Kendall is working toward the checkered flag. He is caught with slower traffic. Will Schroeder have a chance? No. Saleen moves over and Kendall gets by.
It's all in Kendall's court right now. Something mechanical would have to break for him to not win this race right now. He's turning the last corner before he comes down for the checkered flag.
There is the stripe. You can see that Kendall moves to the left. He moves underneath Bob Robb, and Dorsey Schroeder just does not have enough. Dorsey has to settle for 2nd place, and Tom Kendall, our points leader coming into today's race, wins again. It now becomes his 5th victory rather than his 4th in the last 6 races. It is the 6th in a row for his team. 3rd place goes to the Mustang teammate of Dorsey Schroeder, Max Jones. Lynn St. James, a very gratifying 4th position, and a very happy Tom Kendall, undoubtedly saying, hey, you guys haven't found a way to stop us yet. We'll be back with more from Denver after right now.
All right, we're here with the happy winner, Tommy Kendall. Made it 6 in a row for the Chevy Beretta and 5 out of 6 for him. How did it feel, Tom?
Well, this is a heck of a lot happier than last time I talked to you after the Detroit race. You know, we had a super race there, and the ICI Olivetti Beretta was just as strong today. But today it lasted for the whole distance, the whole 100 miles. And my hat's really off to the crew. And, you know, this was a really just a super effort by the whole team, especially K-Tech. They had the engine miller. It was a unique challenge for them this morning.